It's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today, as promised, I have got the gift that I am sending to my customers who shopped with me in August. I'm using new product mostly, and in this little box we have got a little chocolate heaven. Now, those of you who know me of old know that I don't think chocolate is heaven, but I know that other people do like chocolate. So the contents are a Galaxy hot chocolate and one of these bars. They're a Lovett's milk chocolate caramel wafer. So it's a caramel wafer covered in chocolate. I have to say, when I bought them, I assumed they would say what they were on the outside, but hey ho! Best laid plans, as they say. So, let me show you how I've made this. It's not that complicated, it is just a box. I made one originally, my original one, without stamping the cardstock, and I decided it looked a bit plain. So I thought I would make one that was stamped. I'm using Shaded Spruce card, and I'm using the Most Wonderful Time stamp set and matching dies. These are part of the product medley. If you watched my video and saw my website a few days back, you will have seen me show you the projects that I've made so far with this, with the whole product medley. Anyone who buys it from me will get a PDF of all of the projects that I've made with it. I'm intending to get down to the last little scrap, and you will either get full instructions, or you'll get full instructions for some, and photographs for the ones that are a bit more straightforward. My cardstock today is 8 by 7, which means you can get it from the width of a piece of either A4 or North American letter. I'm using one of the Christmas tree stamps from the stamp set. There are 2 Christmas trees. I will be using this one as well, obviously, and also the Deck the Halls. But I thought to make a background, I'd use the kind of more realistic Christmas tree to just stamp tone on tone. So this is Shaded Spruce onto Shaded Spruce, just to kind of give a bit of something in the background. This is very much a question of I just stamp and then go back and fill in any gaps. I always make sure that I go off the edge, because I think it looks more meant. If you don't go off the edge, it can look a little too intentional, which, funnily enough, looks wrong. Don't ask me why, but it does. I'm sure there is some reason that someone could explain, and maybe that's you. If you know the reason why it looks more pleasing to the eye to have things coming off the edge, I would be fascinated to know the answer. I merrily say this time and time again, and I have no idea why. So a little bit of why would be really quite nice to know. Okay, so I just need a bit there, and maybe up there, come in with the top of the tree there, and there. Yeah, so as I say, it's very much a question of just stamp where you think is a good place to stamp. Get rid of my piece of scrap paper and exchange it for my Simply Scored. And with the 8-inch piece at the top, or the 8-inch width at the top, we are going to score at 3/4 of an inch. And I will give you the finished dimensions in a moment. So it's 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4 of an inch. No, 3 3/4 of an inch. Don't worry about writing these down. I will have them on my website, and I'll make sure they're right. The link to my website's in the description bar. So 3/4, 3 3/4, 4 1/2, and 7 1/2. And then pivot, doesn't really matter which way you pivot. We're going for 1/2 inch 1¼ inches and 6¼ inches. And that's all the scoring we need to do. Oh. And then burnish. I'm sorry if you've got noises off. I don't know how well the microphone's picking up the noises, but we've got, our next door neighbour has decided that doing some building work is a really good idea when I'm trying to film. I mean, he doesn't know I'm trying to film, but you know. So there are some interesting crashes and bangings coming on from next door. So yeah, sorry if there are crashes and bangings in the background. So that's everything burnished. And then, okay, so this is going to be my flap. So this is going to be this piece here. This is the edge, so this is the back. This piece here is the back. So this is coming through from the back. So we're going to just get rid of that 1/2 inch rectangle there. And the same down here. And I'm just wedging in a little bit just so that it's neat when I put it all together. And then I'm going to cut up. This is the bottom. So the piece with just the 3/4 inch is the bottom. And I'm going to keep my large rectangles, well, my rectangles in one piece, and I'm going to wedge into my squares just a wee bit. Not a huge amount, but just a wee bit. So keep that straight. And the piece that I keep straight, I take away the score line. So that's the bottom. And then we're going to do more or less the same at the top, except we need to get rid of, no, we need to keep that. So I'm just going to wedge there. We're keeping the squares, and we will cut them down to squares. So we're keeping the squares, but just wedging in a wee bit. This is my flap, so I'm going to cut straight down there. Get rid of that. Then trim off the 1/2 inch so that we have just got those squares. So that's that. And then this piece is scrap. So we cut straight across here. It's maybe easier with a larger pair of scissors, but I like my snips, so just straighten that out a wee bit. There we go. Now, if the recipient it has a little bit of dexterity issue, you can use a circle punch just to give a nip in there, because that will make it as like a thumb hole. Right, so tear and tape on our 1/2 inch at the bottom. Oh, I know what I nearly forgot. If you have a corner rounder, you have the option of doing corner rounding on your flap. I do quite like corner rounding. I think it looks just a little more finished. But as I say, you don't need to worry too much if you haven't got a corner rounder. You just trim very slightly at the corners. So let's get rid of our backing strip off our tear and tape. And because the box is symmetrical, we can just fold it flat and it will line up perfectly. So this is the front, so this is the back. So we're going in with the sides, in with the back, and then some adhesive here. And I am using my liquid adhesive for this because it does just keep that nice and strong. You can use tear and tape. I wouldn't use snail. And then pop that there. And then if you want to make sure that it holds together square, you can just close your box. Ooh, you can over close your box as well if you're very good. And just hold that in place. Now the reason that's happened is because I didn't trim this into the edge enough. So I'm just going to come back in and trim that a little bit more, and that should solve the problem. So that should now close much nicer. And it does. Perfect. Okay, so as I say, if you want to put a thumb hole there, you can, but really it's a question of choice. Then I'm going to shake the chocolate powder down in my Galaxy, pop the biscuit alongside and close that up. It's easier to decorate the outside if you've already got the gift inside. It's not impossible otherwise, but you know. So I need a scrap of Very Vanilla. I've got the other Christmas tree and my shaded spruce. And I'm just going to ink that up nicely and stamp. And also find another scrap and get my Deck the Halls and ink that up. And let's do a better job of inking that up. There we go. And stamp. And then we'll need to get rid of that before I put my fingers in it. We will need the label die, which is that one and goes really nicely around the Deck the Halls, and the Christmas tree, and just die cut those. But by the magic of television, here's one I prepared earlier, and in the champagne foil you want the little angel. There's a choice of an angel or a star in the dies. Let me show you the dies if I can find them. Here we go. Here we go. So we've got the angel, a star, the Christmas tree, and I've buried it. There we are. And the label. So really nice. This cuts out the Christmas parcels, which of course don't have to be Christmas. Parcels are parcels. But it cuts them out as separate parcels, and that's a two-step. We've also got stars, candy canes, which go really nicely on the realistic tree. So stars, another star, and various sentiments. So it's a really nice stamp set and matching dies. Okay, so I need dimensionals. That's what I need. So 3 dimensionals for the back of my Christmas tree. And a dimensional magically on the back of my angel, and then 2 dimensionals on the back of my label, 1 at each end. And then making sure that you've got your dimensionals well stuck down. Peel the backings off and make sure you leave room for your angel and pop that in the middle of your box. And as I say, you can use the star if you'd rather. Pop your angel on top, and then that's what I need. A tiny bit of adhesive at the bottom of the tree. Remove the dimensionals from your label and pop that so that it's just over the bottom of the tree. There you go. So got a few more to make, just a few more. But yeah, I think they're really cute little gift boxes. Obviously you can change up the colours. You can cover them with designer series paper as well if you wanted. Just make it 1/8 of an inch shorter on each side. But really nice little gift box. And in the UK, this will go through, even in a box, it will go through as large letter, which is always a plan. Thank you very much indeed for watching me again today. As I say, if you were an August customer of mine, you will be getting one of these and the card that I've already shown you. And if you use the host code, the product that you have had a share in. And thank you very much for shopping with me. If you would like to receive a customer gift pack from me, then why not shop with me in September? And remember that if you buy the Most Wonderful Time product medley from me, not only will you get your usual gift, you will also get a PDF with lots of inspiration for ideas using this set. I really seriously am intending to use every single last bit of the pack, and will photograph every single one, and I'll write instructions for some, so you will have lots of inspiration. I'm hoping to get that done by the back end of September, very early October. So if you buy it in September, I will send it out as soon as I've finished it. And then if you buy in October, I'll send it out within a couple of days of receiving your order. So yeah, or indeed if you buy it in November, because there's still time in November and early December to make stuff for Christmas. So okay, thank you very much indeed. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, there is a subscribe button just about there. And it would be lovely if you would subscribe. I'm very close to 7,000 subscribers and having no excuse for not clearing up my craft room to give you a craft room tour. So yeah, and if you're in the UK and would like to shop with me, that would be fantastic. The host code's in the description bar below, as is a list of everything that I've used. Thank you very much indeed, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.